Hey everyone, welcome back, and this is my review of Golden Time, Episode 1, entitled Springtime. Okay, well, this Episode 1, I have to tell you, it was actually a pretty good Episode 1. Now, one thing that this, episode actually has going for it is that it was, I believe, the light novels were written by the same guy who wrote the Toradora light novels. I forget the guy's name, but yeah, and so it definitely has that going for it. Toradora's Episode 1 hooked me, and so did this. Really, it was pretty good. Now, the story revolves around our main character, Tada Banri, who is just entered high school. He moved to Tokyo, and he's entering a prestigious law school in Tokyo. Alright, and it's there that I don't remember all the characters' names, you have to look them up here. And it's there that he meets a boy who quickly becomes a good friend of his, Mitsuo Yanagisawa. Mitsuo explains that he moved to Tokyo so that he could basically get away from this crazy woman, and then she ends up showing up in a limo out of nowhere. So clearly she's a rich girl. You can tell that right off the bat. Her name is Koko Kaga. Alright, and she is obsessed with Mitsuo, and apparently claimed that the two of them proclaimed that the two of them would get married when they were kids. Or she said that when they were kids, basically. Now, I actually usually hate this kind of character, but I actually thought she was really funny in this episode, and the main reason is probably because she doesn't really seem to be a crazy type of obsessiveness. Like, she doesn't lash out at him, she doesn't scream at him all the time. I mean, her initial appearance was her showing up in the limo, getting out, smiling while beating him senseless with a bouquet of roses, telling him congratulations that you got in to law school. So yeah, clearly, you know, she's not the crazy type of obsessive, and I really enjoyed her character in this episode. I thought she was really funny, but of course, like all characters, especially ones of this archetype, she definitely has room for improvement and development throughout the course of the series. Now, one thing I like is that, first off, it takes place in college, not high school. However, this first episode reminds me of watching Servant X Service from last season. Now, I really enjoyed Servant X Service from last season, but one of my biggest critiques, in terms of the art, that is, which the art looks good, but in terms of the art, I complained that in Servant X Service, you could basically put them in a high school setting and you would never know the difference. You know, even though they were in the workforce, well, here they're in college, but you could basically do the same thing. The art is so that you could basically put them in a high school setting and you would never know the difference. Alright, and I do think that is a bit troubling, and, you know, if more of these series are made in the future, I really hope that they focus on, you know, making characters actually look their age. Alright, because you can find freaking parents in these types of series that look their age, but not the students that are supposed to be in college or in the workforce. Alright, so that is making sense to me. And the animation wasn't that great either. It's basically portraying itself, for the majority of this episode, as a, you know, slice of life romantic comedy, and it does that pretty well. It's not a fantastic first episode, but it does hook me. I'll definitely be continuing it. Of course, I will, because I'm a masochist, and I have this thing where I can't drop a series when I start it. So yeah, but overall, I really don't think there's anything else left for me to say, except for that the final scene, in which we have Bonri, who's standing on like a bridge, I think, or something, or an overpass or something, and this car comes and almost collides with him. Right before it does, the screen fades to black. So it I guess it was trying to go for a more dark-ish approach there, or a more I don't know what you call it, like a different approach there in terms of the mood, I guess, at the very end. And I don't like that because, well, with something like that, it requires a certain amount of build-up in order for it to work properly, and this episode did not get that build-up. I really don't think that should have happened in the first episode. I think it should have happened a few episodes down the line, so it could get enough build-up, alright, and get the appropriate amount of suspense built. Alright, but that's just my opinion, I guess. So yeah, anyways, overall, hope you enjoyed this review, guys. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.